The Minnesota Wild podcast is presented exclusively by Acrisure.
Back here in Ottawa, the capital of Canada, as we celebrate the first period with a score of 2-0 for the Wild over the Ottawa Senators. I'm Tom Reid, pleased to join with Joe Smith of The Athletic. I guess, first of all, Joe, you wonder what's going to happen in a situation like that. Minnesota's in the playoffs. Ottawa's scrambling to get in the playoffs. And Minnesota's got the lead. Just two goals and 8 shots. They gave up 14, but Minnesota's pretty good period scoring-wise for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a pretty good road period. I mean, obviously Wallstedt made some good saves there, but they're opportunistic. And I like the Brodin play. Just get the puck toward the net, shoot for a rebound, Tom, and they found a way to get a lucky bounce there for the first goal. But I think John Hines mentioned they want to get through this weekend, kind of the 3 and 4, playing a really good hockey, then maybe rest some guys down the stretch. I know they have Dallas on Thursday, but they look really good in Vancouver, and this is a good start for them today in Ottawa. Yeah,
Minnesota's had a nice stretch of 4 days off like they did have, and of course that, especially the guys who had to go to the Olympics and play in the Olympics, it gives them a little bit of a breathing room, which they didn't have for prior to the season.
Yeah, you could really tell a difference, especially with Matt Boldy, I thought. Last game, like, he had so much more pop in his skating. He was aggressive. He obviously had the goals like we all saw, but guys like him and Quinn needed a mental break from all the last couple of months, and Faber too. So every team had that 4-day break. Just the Wild had it at a pretty opportune time, right before the end of the season. So could see a difference in a lot of the guys. And now it's a home stretch, right, Tom? The most fun part of the year is playoffs, and they're almost there. So they just need to get there and stay healthy. You
know, you mentioned playoffs, and it's interesting. You look where we are in the season right now, and very few teams really have found a way to be in the playoffs at this stage of the game. It's been a very, very tight race, and will continue to be that way.
Well, look at the Eastern Conference, right? Like the Senators are part of 4 teams that were tied for that last wild card spot, with Philly winning last night. So talk about holding on to your seats there the last week and a half. Every one of these games matters. Detroit Red Wings tomorrow, the Wild play. They're fighting for a playoff spot as well. So the key, which is hard, I know, for the Wild, is the match of desperation of these teams who are playing for their playoff lives, when the Wild know not only that they're in the playoffs, but who they're playing in the first round, just a matter of where. So it'll be interesting to see how they can match that intensity the next couple of games.
Yeah, it's really interesting, too, when you look at the different divisions, and very few teams in each division are in the playoffs yet. I mean, there's a lot. I look at the Metropolitan Division, and the only team that's in the playoffs right now, the 8 teams, is Carolina. They're the one. They have nobody in the Atlantic Division that has solidified the playoff position yet. You look at the Central Division, there's 3 teams, that being Colorado, Dallas, and Minnesota. It's been that way just about from the get-go this season. And you look at the Pacific Division, and there's not one team in that division that has qualified for the playoffs. And here we're at,
7 games left?
10 days away. Yeah. There's anywhere from 5 to 7 games left for these teams.
So the matchup that has been known for months is Dallas, Minnesota. The rest of it in the West seems like, who knows who Colorado's playing in the first round? Who's going to get that second wild card spot in the Western Conference too? So a lot of teams that are fighting for that. So it's fun, I guess, for the game, for the fans. All these markets are still into it. They still feel like they have a chance, but definitely a different feeling in Minnesota, where it feels like they've been this Groundhog Day waiting for Dallas to show up on April 18th.
Well, people ask me all the time, what do they think to do against Dallas? I mean, you cover this team. You've watched them the last few years. What's your take on how Minnesota will fare against the Dallas Stars?
Well, I think they played them a tough series a couple years ago, remember? Like, Gustafsson had that 50-save overtime win, and they played Flower the next game. So that was a tough series, but I think they're better equipped now to beat Dallas in a 7-game series with their depth up front. Look at the line. They could have a fourth line of Foligno, McCarron. That's a heck of a fourth line for a playoff run. Their goaltending's good, and Quinn Hughes is an X factor, I think. With Heiskanen and McCarr in that same division, you have a guy who plays half the game, who can control play, who can be a breakout, who can create offense up the middle. You don't have a number one center, quote unquote, but you have a lot of guys that are capable of creating plays from the wings, Kaprizov and Boldy. So Dallas is a heck of a team. They're really hard to play against. They play a really structured game, but I think the Wild, with the way they're built this year, and their special teams are better too. The PK has been their kind of their Achilles heel against Dallas, but you look at the PK they have now is a lot better, I think.
Yeah, you look at the youngsters coming in the league also and what they bring to the table. I look at Macklin Celebrini. I mean, he's just 2 points now. What, in his second year? That he's going to 2 points for 100 points in the league. And people are talking about him and how good he has been. And he has been, I mean, those are the type of players that fans want to see play. They want
the next face of the NHL, in my opinion, and MVP, we all have Hart Trophy votes coming up in the next couple of weeks. I've been on record of saying Kucherov would probably be my pick, but the Sharks make the playoffs. There's no reason they make the playoffs. To have a guy like Celebrini really lift them on his back as a young kid to carry them into a playoff position, even though the Pacific Division is a kind of a struggle bus there. But yeah, I think he's been an incredible talent, and he'll be one of the best we'll ever probably play the game just by the end of his career, just how good he is.
Now, this is game number 76 for Minnesota, so the season is winding down here. What are you expecting from Minnesota for the last 10, 11 games?
Well,
days, I should say.
I think the key for them is finding what their playoff lineup is going to look like. I think the top two lines are pretty much set. Now they're figured out who's that last one or two spots in the lineup in the bottom six to see how that kind of fits for the playoffs. And so they want to get guys to feel good about their game. It's like Ryan Hartman's feeling good about his game right now. They want Kirill and Matt Boldy to be feeling good about their game going to the playoffs. So a lot of it's that. Then they'll be resting some guys, I think. After this weekend, they'll probably consider resting a few of their top guys or minute eaters down the stretch because they don't have to play them. So I think that'll be interesting to see who sits out, who doesn't, play some of the younger kids and see what happens. But yeah, I think they want to get their game in the right order. People will feel good about their games, and then overall then rest guys and stay healthy before the Dallas matchup.
Who on Minnesota's roster has surprised you this year in the way they've played? Anybody in particular?
Who surprised me? Well, I mean, I think Yurov, from a guy from a full season, I think Yurov, you saw him in rookie tournament like a deer in headlights, right? You had no idea, could this guy play in the NHL right now? Is he ready? And for him to play, like 60, 70 games in the league, and I think John Hines this morning kind of compared him to Ulrich Senek in terms of he just does the right thing all the time. He's such a smart player, plays 200 feet. So I think his development for me, big picture, was a really important thing for the Wild. Whether he plays game one of the playoffs or not, I don't know. But to see him go from where he was in rookie camp to all of a sudden being a regular for most of the season and a really good team was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting the next couple of weeks here as we wind down this 25-26 season. So it's going to be fun to watch, no question about it. Joe, thanks for being with us.
Hey, anytime. Thanks so much, Tom.
Joe Smith, our guest here. Kevin, let's go back to you.
All right, Thomas, thank you very much for joining us in the intermission. And Joe Smith will get a gift certificate down to Tom Reid's Hockey City Pub. And as we say, you can have the gift certificate, just don't share with Michael Russo. We'll break, and then we'll recap the first period. It's been all Minnesota thus far, at least from a scoreboard standpoint. They lead the Senators 2-0. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by Grand Casino. The best place to go for all your Minnesota Wild audio needs is the official Minnesota Wild podcast presented by Acrisure. Everything Minnesota Wild related, including highlights, press conferences, players, coaches, general managers, and more. It's available on the official Minnesota Wild podcast presented by Acrisure. It's all just a click away at wild.com/podcast.